Yo, 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 yo. What up, world? What up, world? What up, world? What's going on? What's good? What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? Man, peace and blessings to everybody. Hope all is well. Hope everything's going your way. If not, man, keep your head up. Keep pushing because trouble don't last always. Hey, man, again, thank each and every one of you for taking time out to schedule to rock with your boy. Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But you know what time it is? Man, you know what time it is, man. It's another episode of that's right. Sports Talk with Pops. And I'm your man Pops. And we're gonna give it to you the same way the OGs are gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, you know what it is. I ain't gonna hold you long. Hot topics come out, we gonna talk about it, we're gonna get straight into it, right into it. You know what I'm saying? Again, man, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share button for me, man. Appreciate it. Without further ado, man, let's get right into it. Man, today we gonna be talking about the NFL draft, and man, you know already, man, I'm ready for the NFL. We ain't got but a couple of months left for that, and it's gonna be on and popping. We done got to the draft. Everybody done got who they gonna get. All kind of moves done been made. Everybody's been playing chess moves since the off season done been here. And now, man, we at the end. I definitely am not gonna run through the whole entire draft list, but I am gonna just read off a couple of them. You know, at your own discretion. Check out what your team got going on. You know, I'm keeping up with my team for real, but keep up with your team. I like to keep up with a couple people's teams, so you know, I'm gonna just read off a couple of them. But man, look, the Grays, man, they did a lot of they're saying a lot of the teams did good. Now, this is the first time that I ever really watched the draft. You know what I'm saying? I very rarely even watch the draft. I'm a stats dude, so I go back and look at the stats and go back off of that right there. But this was the first time I watched it, and I was able to understand and pick up on a few things now with how some people will say, "Oh man, this person could have got this person if they wouldn't have traded their draft pick." And I was like, "Oh man!" So I seen it firsthand, especially after the Jacksonville Cleveland little draft move, and they snatched up Travis Hunter for the second pick after that. But I was a slick one, but now it made me understand. But man, hey, look, it was decent to me. Of course, you know, I wanted to watch it because I wanted to see where Shador Sanders was going to land at anyway. And you know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that one in another segment on that one right there. But right now, we're just going to give a big shout out to everybody who even made it to the draft class, who even made it to even get to that chance to even be recognized in that light. You know, big salute from me and my squad. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Buffalo, they ended up with an A. No, I'm sorry. Buffalo ended up with a B plus. That was Baltimore. They ended up with an A with their picks. And Baltimore did pretty decent, man. Baltimore ended up getting like six defensive players, and they ended up getting like three offensive players. And bro, I'm telling you, everybody was getting knees. And what I seen out of the whole deal is people was getting knees. They wasn't really running on who was the most popular on there. They was getting knees in the very first round. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, excuse me, think only two running backs, two wide receivers, and it was two running backs, two wide receivers, and I think two quarterbacks went in the first round. Everything else was, you know, a little bit different. It was, you know, like offensive tackles and defense and everything like that. But, you know, that's all that went in that first round right there. In the second round, I think it was like five wide receivers went, like two running backs, and I didn't think but one running back went in the second round of the draft. You know what I'm saying? So it was the little second round that I seen. I didn't hit one but one quarterback that went. And I can't remember who snatched him up. But hey, and then I thought when the 21st pick came around that Pittsburgh was gonna get it because they was in need of a quarterback. So you know, I just knew Shador was gonna go right in. But again, you know, another segment, another time, we'll talk about that. Pittsburgh grade ended up with an A, even though they didn't pick him up and they made some other kind of moves. But it looked like Pittsburgh ended up with five defensive players that they picked up and two offensive players. And one of the offensive players, which I think now that wouldn't have moved in, but they ended up getting the quarterback from Ohio State. The first pick was the defensive player, and I don't know if I believe if I'm not mistaken, the defensive player that he picked up, I think his mom passed a couple of hours after he got drafted. So hey, prayers and condolences to him and his family. You know what I'm saying? So he gonna use that as fuel, and the whole team probably gonna fuel off of that right there. But they got them defense. From what I seen, it was a lot. Houston, fun fact about them, they traded their pick, if I'm not mistaken, to the New York Giants. And I think they had the number 2 pick. And they traded their first pick to the Giants for, I think it was the 25 pick, I'm sorry. But they traded that to the Giants, and they picked up a whole bunch of other little picks in the later rounds. And it ended up working out for them pretty decent, man, because they ended up with, like, they got like 7 picks, but they got like 3 defensive and 4 offense out of the deal. So they snatched up 2 wide receivers, they snatched up a safety, and they got a quarterback, the quarterback from Florida up out of there too. So they thinking ahead, making chess moves. I'm telling you, San Fran, my team, we ended up with a B plus with the moves we made. And we ended up picking, like I said, a quarterback from Indiana, picked him up out of the deal. But we did a lot of, defensive players, got linebackers, edge, got a wide receiver, safety. So we got pieces that we need. Again, I liked it. I thought it was good. I just thought Shador would have got picked up a lot earlier than the round that he got picked up on. But you see, Cleveland passed on him on a whole bunch, and then still ended up getting him in the end. But we'll see how it go out. I hope everything works out for everybody, man. Dallas, they did pretty decent. They had 5 defensive players they scooped up, 4 offensive players. You know what I'm saying? They did pretty good. Dallas didn't pick up no quarterback. They did get 2 running backs though. But I see they got offensive guards, linebackers, offensive tackles. So everybody's stacking up. Where they slacking at, they making sure they getting them pieces, and everybody watching, looking, see who might be able to fit. Again, on paper, all of it looked good. All of it looked like it'll work on paper. But when you get on the field, it's just like Big Boy said at ATL, man, this grown man business here. This grown man business. So when you get on this field, bro, you're going to have to bring it even harder than you did when you was on that field right there. So, again, back to that Shador Sanders, you're going to have to show me, bump all that mouth. Only difference is your daddy can show because he proved it. But, again, another subject on that right there, Washington ended up with a B. They first day, they was in a very low bracket. But they ended up getting a little something. They ended up getting 5 picks, but I see they picked up a wide receiver and a running back. They also picked up a cornerback and a linebacker. So, again, picking up needs. Of course, they had to make moves with Debo and all that right there. So, we'll see how it all turns out, man. Like I said, man, Kansas City did pretty good. They ended up with 4 defensive players and 3 offensive players. And one of the offensive players was a wide receiver and a running back. They got a defensive tackle and a linebacker. So I'm telling you, people making moves, test moves. Detroit, they ended up with a B. Green Bay ended up with an A minus. Minnesota ended up with a B. New Orleans, they passed on Shador. They ended up with a B minus. And who they picked up was like highlights I seen from him. Like, well, again, another story, another time on that one right there. But Kansas City ended up with an A. Tennessee ended up with an A. But I'm telling you, Jacksonville, again, if everybody plays to their potential, it's going to be it's going to be very helpful for a lot of teams, man. But again, hit me up in the comments, man. Let me know what you think, man. You think it was a good draft? Think it was a whack draft? Think it could have been better? Or you think it's all politics? Everything is politics when it comes to these sports and everything. When money is involved, it's all politics. You know what I'm saying? But overall, to me, it was decent to me. Like I said, because it was the first time I watched it, so I got a better understanding of it. But all in all, like I said, most people grades are A's. Again, man, check your squad out. Check and see what they got going on, man. Football season right around this corner, man. Check me on my next segment, man. I'm going to talk about Shador. And I'm also get on these NBA playoffs because, boy, it's going down right now. And, hey, it's sports talk with Pops, and we're going to talk about everything that's going on. But these drafts is pretty good. All this let me know is we one step closer to the games, baby. And I'm ready. I'm ready to see what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? So, big shout out to everybody who made it to the draft. Big shout out to everybody who got picked up. Glad everybody got picked up. Good weekend for everybody. Now it's time to see what it's going to be made of. When you get to that locker room, you get on that practice field, and you're going to have to show and prove right now. Hey, man, catch me on the next segment. Again, man, thanks for tuning in. That's right, Sports Talk with Pops. I'm your man, Pops, man. We're going to give it to you from an OG's perspective. One last time, man, hit that like, comment, subscribe, share button for me, man. Love each and every one of you. Man, enjoy your day, baby.